Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Check it out. I wanted to do a video about this because I'm kind of concerned about this. And I'm concerned for what's coming up in the future. Really am. And I'm going to tell you, I know a lot of guys come here and they talk all this stuff. You know, civil war is coming and all this is coming and all that. And for the most part, sometimes I'm like, alright man, you know what? Chill out. Relax. Let's think about these things. And you know, there could be all the things that may happen, right? But I'm going to tell you, I have seen a lot of bad things lately going on since I've been doing YouTube. I've been doing this for years. I've been in the political, I guess in a way, finding out information and involved in some kind of way for many years. I kind of follow this, as a passion of mine and things like that. But like I say, I've been putting videos for many years, and lately what I seen is really bad. And again, it is what it is. I think that overall, with prayer, with dedication and love to our country, great things are going to happen. And I believe that because there is many people that I believe are working hard to take all this corruption, all this craziness, and expose all that, and again, bringing our country back to what it's supposed to be. I believe that. I told a friend of mine, which somebody that I love told me this, so I don't want to take any credit, but we were talking about this, and it was like this person that I love was saying how the Lord is going to show corruption, all the corruption that has been going on for years is going to show that to many people, and I totally believe that, and I see it so far. There's so much corruption going on that is crazy. But here's the thing, and before I get into that, I'm gonna get into the intro and all that, but here's the thing that I really want to mention. Jesus Christ walked God Almighty came down here to show us the example, and many still unto this day refuse him. So, in other words, sometimes you could see pure information, pure facts in front of you, and people will deny it. And again, I use Jesus Christ as an example how people will deny reality, will deny truth, will deny love, will deny compassion, will deny all that. What really happened, the best course for your life, people will deny. So when it comes to this election, I believe that even though Mr. Trump gonna be able to provide proof that it was fraud, that it was illegal things being done, people will deny it, and there will be unrest, there will be destruction, there will be chaos, and there will be all those things. Before I continue, check it out. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. I definitely appreciate when you guys subscribe. You guys are fantastic. Share the videos. I appreciate when you guys share the videos and all that good stuff. Also, big shout out. Here we go to my patron. Pump about my patron. You guys are amazing. If you want to become a patron, make sure you click the link down below and become a patron. You could do that $1 a month or whatever you want to, whatever God put it in your heart. There's going to be a link down below. Also, if you're doing any purchases and things like that on Amazon, doesn't cost you anything. Click on my links. And again, the channel does make a little bit money of that. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do it. And I'm going to tell you, I got a lot to share. I was thinking about this topic. I was really thinking about this topic. And I'm like, man, I want to share a couple things with you guys because, like I say, I've been kind of concerned about it lately. I've been thinking about that and all that stuff, and I think that there is a topic of conversation here, and there is some stuff that we could learn from each other, right? Let me bring this up because I want to read you, before I get into anything, I want to read you a Bible verse. Why? Because, man, I love the Word of God. I love it because it's power. It's power. If you want to defend your family, if you want to have blessings in your family, if you want to have a beautiful future, if you want to understand how to deal with this nonsense that is going on, if you want to know how to deal with this nonsense, you got to read the Bible, because the Bible tells you about the nonsense that is going on, And it also tells you how to overcome that nonsense. I don't know. I don't know if I made any sense with that. Isaiah 5:20, New Living Translation says, "What sorrow for those who say that evil is good and good is evil." Wow. Evil is good and good is evil. Does that make sense now? Is that making any sense for some of you guys that get wrapped up around this? And you guys see, well, you know what? There's some people that don't get it. Well, you know what? I can't believe that guy is doing that. Does that make any sense to you? It's biblical. People will deny truth. People will deny good things and will call bad things good, and it will call good things bad. It's in the Bible. Listen to this. The dark is light and the light is dark. Does that make any sense to you? Peaceful protests, mass riots, mass chaos, people being murdered, people being killed, businesses being destroyed, families being attacked, people calling the white man racist for everything. You know, apparently they're racist for everything. And all that is not true. So again, you know, they call mass riots and destruction, they call it a peaceful protest. Does it make sense? Some of you guys don't understand it. Some of you guys said things like, well, I don't get that. What do you mean it's a peaceful protest? They're burning the town down. That's not peaceful for me. Right. Really? Is that what you said? It's in the Bible. For those, what sorrow for those who say that evil is good and good is evil. That dark is light and light is dark. That bitter is sweet and sweet is bitter. Like literally, there's people doing this. There's people saying things that it doesn't make any sense. That you don't even understand. Let me show you something, by the way, before I continue. Make sure you check out some of the channels, some of the videos here. I've been posting a lot of videos, and I appreciate everybody that support the channel and everybody that, you know, again, everybody that is here with me for the long way. Let me bring this up here. I wrote actually a couple points this time because sometimes I get into a rampage and I forget what I'm saying. So here's the thing. I gotta tell you, for 4 years, they scream about fraud. The Democrats did so much for 4 years. They impeached the president of the United States over nothing. It was a pure numbers, right? They have more people in the House, so they brought some nonsense charges. It was not, no one really said that, you know, what happened. It was really, really confusing. I can't even tell you exactly how it was. It was that somebody heard from somebody, that somebody heard from somebody, and based on somebody that he heard from somebody, the president of the United States was impeached. And again, you know, it was celebrations and all that. But when it went to the Senate, obviously, you know that it was thrown away based on the fact that the Senate is Republican, the House is Democrats, right? So again, for 4 years they attached the president of the United States. They impeached him for no reason. The whole Russia was insane. The whole Russia was insane. It was constantly the Russian yada 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 and the Russian this and the Russian that. They spent hundreds of hours on investigation, FBI, all that stuff. I don't even remember what was the number. I don't want to say the number because, you know, I don't want to be wrong, but it was in the millions probably. It was insane. When I heard how much money they spent in this investigation and, excuse me, how many people they interview and all that, it was beyond understanding. You know, no wonder they take so much taxes out of my paycheck every time I get paid. Somebody got to pay for this silly stuff. So again, for many years, the Mueller report, the Mueller investigation, the Russian investigation, you know, the president being attacked and all this stuff. And again, you know, I guess that's okay. But now we see 2020, we see the elections, we see that there is some issues with the election, not because the president of the United States showed it to us, because we have seen it based on videos that has been posted all over the place. Raise your hand if you're seeing people being biased, people wearing fighting masks. Obviously, they're being biased. People throwing away paperwork. You know, one guy was like, "Oh, you know, dump trunk," and threw away a valley or something like that. Right? People committing fraud. People filling up valets and things like that. So I seen that. I saw actually people just doing it, and I'm like, what is she doing, or what are he doing? Writing in those papers that is like official paperwork. They're not supposed to do that. We saw them blocking the windows. I think it was in Pennsylvania, where they blocked the windows to not allow people to watch in. So again, none of these things is things that anybody told us. Obviously, there's press conference and things like that you could see, but we have seen it with our eyes. We have been able to come into Twitter, Facebook, and things like that, and seen things that are concerning at a bare minimum. But you know what? The Democrats don't want to do that. The Democrats don't want to investigate anything. The Democrats want to just say, you know what? There is no fraud. None. This was a fair election. No, the President of the United States have the right, based on the Constitution, to challenge those things and to make sure that the election is fair. And here's the thing. If Biden won, Biden won. But my concern is that the election was fair. Because if the election is fair or was not fair, what does it mean for us as Americans that we can't even vote? A vote doesn't count for anything. And if my vote doesn't count for anything, that's pretty upsetting, right? So to me, it's not so much that the President of the United States, President Trump, becoming the next President of the United States again. It's more that I don't want a democracy, our election system to be messed up, rigged up, whatever. So many claims. I want that to be clear. So I know that next time that I cast my vote, I know that, you know what? My vote actually means something. Obviously, I want the President of the United States to win again. But after that, upon to that, I want to make sure that our elections are right and there's no concerns, there's no fraud, there's nothing there that could, again, in the future could potentially bring some issues. I think the American people deserve the right to make sure that our elections are okay, that there's no fraud or anything like that. They're talking about, Dominion and having a system that is actually switching votes and things like that. I think there is more than enough cause to investigate that. But no, that's not what the Democrats are calling. The Democrats are not calling upon that. And the thing about that is that they make us, they are using so many different things to attack us. I literally watching Fox News, and you see the Secretary of Press, and she's talking, and she's about to share some information. I made a video about that, and essentially they cut off the feed. Thinking to myself, what will you cut off the feed? The American people want to see that, but you cutting off the fee. And the guy was like, well, according to elections or official, we need to hear from officials and yada, yada, yada. And thinking to myself, who is more of an official than her? She's like one of the top officials. I mean, she's speaking for the President of the United States. But again, cutting off the fee. You see Twitter binding or censoring the President of the United States. You see YouTube doing the same thing. You see Facebook. Again, Facebook erasing groups and things like that. There is so much information out there that they are erasing groups. And let me tell you something. This is not something that I'm saying. I'm in my spare room doing this. This is something that you see Facebook CEO, you see Twitter CEO, and you see the CEOs from these companies going to the Congress to have congressional meetings about this. Literally, they have to go to the Congress, and you have like guys like Ted Cruz question them and saying that this company has so much power that it's ridiculous. They believe that this company have the power to influence presidential elections. So a lot of you guys said things like, well, it's a private company, they could do anything they want to. That is true to some intent or some intents, but at the same time, no company has the right, and I believe it's pretty much a crime, to influence our elections. And when you have companies that are doing that, erasing conservative posts, taking away conservative groups, censoring the President of the United States to push their agenda, they are not only influence the American people, but it's a propaganda attack against our country. And it's not fair. It's not a fair election when you are erasing people out of the internet and promoting all the things. It's not fair. That's not fair. That's like if we're going for a race and I give you, I don't know, you take 500 meters in front of me. It's not a fair election, right? We have the right, or our political candidates have the right to have a fair election, right? So again, you got Twitter censoring the president. You have Facebook censoring groups. You have a press secretary being erased. In fact, you have lawyers right now for the Trump campaign trying to pass information, and some of this media news don't even want to cover it. Some of the media news are, saying really mean things about them, making fun of the lawyer and things like that. So again, why are you not covering when the President of the United States lawyers are doing a conference? That sounds to me like a lot of or really good information that we need to hear, the American people, but they don't want to cover. Why? Because it's a propaganda attack. So here's the thing. There's going to be mass chaos, mass destruction, and all that. And the reason why that's going to happen is because the media have launched a propaganda attack, and they will continue to do that. They really will continue to do that. And the thing about that is that as you see what's happening right now, like I said, right now they're failing to cover some of the issues that we have. So a lot of people are really not informed, and a lot of people don't even get informed. A lot of guys don't do a lot of research or anything like that, right? So what's going to happen is that this is going to go to court. And if this goes to court and they're not going to cover, and eventually they say, yes, this is going to happen, President, let's say, for example, and just give an example, the whatever states were given to Biden, they get given to President Trump. The media is going to cover that, but they're not going to cover that in a fair way. They're really not. They're going to cover in a different way. They're going to say that Trump cheater. They're going to say that Trump supporters are racist, like they continue to say. How many mean things they said about us? We are racist. We have guns. We are crazy. We're going to do A, B, and C. And they're going to do the same thing again. They're going to do the same thing again. And they're going to spice up what I believe that is going to be pretty much major unrest, major chaos, and people are going to get hurt. And it's sad. Really sad that this is going to happen. But the media doesn't care about our country. The media hate this country. The media hate our freedom and everything we stand for. So they're going to do it. They're truly going to do it. And again, people are going to get hurt. And that's sad. And the thing about this is that when we see people getting hurt, especially in this BLM protest, is minorities getting hurt. Like BLM protesting about, supposedly, peacefully protesting about minorities having issues, and then minorities get hurt. It makes no sense to me, right? So again, as these people going to be, as the media going to launch this propaganda attack, things are going to happen. You see New York essentially covering all the windows, expecting mass chaos. Obviously, Biden was declared by the media that he won as a president-elect, and it didn't happen as much. Now we see with the gathering that we have for President Trump, we saw a lot of chaos and things like that, but it didn't happen. So again, if it gets overturned, these cities are going to go into major chaos and major destruction. So you, as a person, you're really going to need to get prepared for this. Again, really need to. So the first thing that I would look is, where am I from? Where I am. I'm going to tell you right now, I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm down here in Florida. I'm pretty blessed to be down here because Governor DeSantis is not playing with this. God bless him. Lord, continue to bless our governor because he is not playing. He took his job serious and he's going to protect the people. Thank you, sir. I really, really appreciate it. But if you live in a state like New York, if you live in a state where, California, if you live in a state like, in Portland, when that happened in that city, again, you need to be really careful because those people are failing to protect our civilians, our community. They're failing. So what's going to happen is that they're going to continue with the democratic policies, and you, the person, is going to have issues. So you really need to understand where you live and what's happened. Look at the history. What has happened since January, since all this started? And if the answer is like, hey, we have had major riots, major unrest and things like that, just know that the possibility that happens again is there, right? I'm not saying that if it doesn't happen, like in my county, here in Flagler County, we haven't had really nothing, and the protest that we have had has been pretty peaceful in my county, right? I'm not saying that I'm just going to disregard everything and not worry about it. That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, prepare yourself. But if you live in a city that this has happening, you really need to understand that the possibility that this happen again is really, highly. So again, prepare yourself for that. Prepare. Have a preparedness plan that you could lock the door of your house and you could stay inside your house and not, and be pretty much okay, right? So again, some people talk about bugging out, going into different places and things like that. That may be something that you may want to do if you want to. Obviously, it's going to be your choice. Me personally, it's going to be hard for me to leave my house. I got too many good things in here for me to leave, and I'm not leaving my house, right? But again, if you're going to leave your house, obviously know that when you leave, expect to come back to nothing. Really expect to come back to nothing. And let me tell you something. This is sad. It shouldn't be this way. It should not be this way. And shame on you, politicians that are failing to protect our community. This is the democratic policies that we are seeing and we continue to see. So again, expect to have some preparation. Don't get caught up with nothing. Make sure you have food. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have safety items that you may need, like flashlight. Make sure you have a home defense plan for you and your children, that you could pick up your children and take into a safe area, your wife and take into a safe area. Make sure that you could talk to maybe the police. Maybe you could talk to them and be like, hey, what's going on? If this happened, do you guys have a plan? It's the places that we can call, like here in Florida, every single time we have a hurricane, we could call the Emergency Operation Center and they give us information. Make sure you make yourself a little list of things that you need, because I'm going to tell you, the moment that they call upon President Trump potentially winning any of the states that they have given to Biden, there's going to be major chaos. And we know that. You saw New York boarding the windows and all that stuff. They were expecting it. So again, it's really a sad thing to do, or a sad thing to understand and to see. We shouldn't be living in this kind of environment. This is sad. It shouldn't be that way. What I'm seeing right now all over social media is disgusting, and it shouldn't be that way. But I'm going to tell you, the Democrats don't care about you. They don't care about the safety or your family or none of that. They don't care. We've seen it so many times here in the community. They support criminals and they fail to call these criminals what they are. Criminals. They give flags to criminals. They visit criminals that sexually assaulted a woman, right? They defend criminals over police. They call people that burn down cities peaceful protests. Their policies are trash. And again, it is what it is. Right now, as we're speaking, there's going to be a lot of things going on in the court. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen. And in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some major things happening, right? And whatever it happens, just know that because these people are rich. These people live in the fancy houses, these politicians with the fancy security. But you and me, the regular people, may be caught up in a place that is total chaos, and we need to be prepared for that, because when you call the cops, they won't come. They really won't come. It's a sad thing to see that in 2020 a country got to be in this way, but like I say, they won't come. Cops won't come. So you need to have a plan to protect your family. I got to tell you guys, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you. As I was reading this Bible verse, I was thinking about this, and I'm going to tell you right now, be in prayer. Be in prayer. Prepare yourself. I just spoke about that, but be in prayer. The biggest preparation that you could do is to be in prayer and to be in connection with a good Lord. Tell him every day, every moment of your life, Lord, protect me and protect my family. Stay in prayer. Anyways, there's so much to say about this. I could talk about it all day. Let me know what you think. Put comments down below. And as always, God is in control.